Okay. I know I look a little scruffy. I want to make sure nigga look good outside and shit. Trying to be outside without being spotted, but just got spotted. But it is what it is. I'll just say this quick to all of my people on all of the social media platforms. Thank you for the overwhelming response. And thank you for reminding me when I occasionally put my foot in my mouth and put some shit out there. But you know what? Especially in this content creator space and in this social media space, you do it for the people, you do it for the people. So with that being said, since I did put it out there about this whole Puffy trial situation, and I mean, I've even been getting people reaching out to me from overseas, and everybody's like, yo, I haven't had one person that said don't do it. Between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, I forgot what other platforms, but between all the platforms, I'll just say it like that, I have not seen one person that said, especially for me, don't do it. Everybody said, nigga, you better get up there and get out there and do it. And this is coming from somebody whose plate is so full, man. Like, that's why I'm looking so crazy, because I don't ever have time to even go get a haircut. But I'm grinding, so y'all will see the fruits of my labor very, very soon. If you don't see it already with all my platforms. I mean, like, you go on all my platforms, you'll see, like, how I'm cooking, And if anybody's wondering, the store is doing very good. Since the relaunch of the store in February, that's another thing that's been keeping my ass busy. I ship every day. Every day I'm shipping out orders, so that is going very well. And I'm actually glad I pulled the trigger on making that decision to restructure it into a store. So that was a plus. Hold on, truck going by. So I'm gonna make it quick. I'm not gonna stay here long, but we got 8 weeks, y'all. We got 8 weeks of this case, right? So I started structuring it out like, okay, how am I gonna pull this off? Because I'm gonna have to get there super early for the morning. I gotta do one run where I gotta fill out the area, because I noticed from what I've seen, they got press boxes set up for like all the mainstream media press, and then they got little areas set up for like independent media like myself. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one recon run, right? And on that recon run, it'll be just that. I'll recon the area, I'll sketch it out, and then on my next run back, I'll know how I'm gonna set it up. So you gotta bear with me, guys. I'll probably do everything with the cam before I bring any cameras or anything with me, and just do like a little mobile situation so I can maneuver around. And plus, if I go into the courtroom, I know I'm gonna have to pack light, because there is no digital devices allowed. There is no phones allowed in the courtroom. So you either got to make mental notes or write notes. And from what I'm gathering, they also have a second media space, because the court is so packed. They got a second media space for people to be in. So like I said, after I do the recon, I'll know how I'm gonna approach this situation. I know how I'm gonna sketch this out. But because I put my shit out there and said, would I do it? Excuse me, if y'all wanted me to do it, and I said I would do it, and people who know me, especially if you know me personally, I am a man of my word. Fuck. But I'm a man of my word. But what I will do, because I'm gonna have to allocate the time, right? So what I thought about last night and today is I'm gonna start cooking up some content in regards to the case, because what I've been doing since the case started, I've been scouring the internet up and down, and I found tons and tons of stuff that we have overlooked, and information and things that, perspectives that we haven't even looked at. And let me make this very clear, just in case some of y'all are wondering. The majority of the perspective that I'm going to come from, not with the lives from the from downtown, but from the videos that I'm gonna put together and put out, I'm coming from a legal perspective. Because like today, I watched a 2-hour thing with Nate the lawyer. Salute to Nate the lawyer, former prosecutor, former law enforcement, and they're breaking it down from the charges, the bylaws of the charges, the count indictments, you know. And see, that's another thing that I realized today, and I'm gonna put a screenshot of this out later when I get some time. Something I realized today that a lot of people is not realizing and or not talking about. And it kind of changed the tone of how I'm feeling. Like, I still feel in some strange way Puffy about to beat these charges and he gonna get off. I really feel like he might walk, until I saw what I saw today. And with what I saw today, it actually made a lot of sense on why the Fed stacked so many charges on Puff. And that's what a lot of people, because, you know, everybody's in their little bubbles and nobody fact checks, nobody researches, nobody even looks at laws, bylines, federal statutes. Nobody looks at that shit. They just go off of feelings and emotions. We don't do that here, so don't expect that from me, please. But it makes sense why they stacked all these charges, right? And from what I've seen today, it changed my perception on how easy Puff is going to walk away from this. Because from what I saw today, and I'm going to try to work on this and get this out to y'all later, what I saw today, Puff might do some time. From what I saw today, and I'm not talking about TMZ, the Shade Room, or none of this stupid shit. I'm talking about from the actual court indictments that have been pulled up and read through and shown and displayed where I could read and look at shit. From the actual paperwork, which makes sense to me why they stacked all the charges. Because, see, look, you might see mainstream media put out, and I know I said I wasn't going to talk long, but fuck it. You might see mainstream media put out the list of what we know for the general public as the 5 charges, right? But what I've seen today from the paperwork is that each one of those 5 charges might have another 4 or 5 charges inside of those, each one of those charges, right? And knowing this information and actually looking at it from a rational point of view, and looking at what they're doing with the RICO case, as far as making this a RICO, and this is exactly why the Fed made this a RICO case. All they have to do is get him on 2. Now let's look at it. Let's say each case holds 5 cases and 5 sub-cases, charges, inside of that. Well, it's 5 times 5. Y'all do the math. Now, out of all of those, even if he beats 22 charges, but the Fed is able to get him on 2, and they don't have to be 2 within the same charge. That's where it's going to get very fucking tricky. It could be subcharge C, which might be the 5th charge in charge number 1, paralleled with charge number 3, 4th charge of charge number 3. And if they get him on those 2, guess what? They got him. And seeing this information from the court documents that I saw today, it really changed my perception on how I felt that he was going to so easily, like, beat these charges. You know? And I mean, if you look at prosecution and you look at defense right now, if we did it in a way of like a number, like a series, I would say so far they've been evenly matched. I know you're going to see some people saying the defensive attorneys have cooked them. Now look, the situation yesterday, yeah, Dawn got cooked. Every news report, every you look, Dawn got cooked. Did not look good for the prosecution. But they're still pretty much evenly matched and deadlocked if we look at it in terms of who's edging who right now. There's no strong side on either side right now. We're still too early in the thing because you still got to remember we're 8 days in on an 8-week trial, which could potentially go longer. So, but seeing what I seen today, and like I said, once I get a chance later on, I'm going to try my best, even if I can just screenshot the set of the charges and the in-between charges so y'all could actually see. I want to clip it. I actually want to clip everything and put something together and then put it out there for y'all. But that's going to take a little work time editing and scouring through all the videos that I've put together already to do this content for y'all. But yeah, man, look, in my personal opinion, I went from Puffy was going to beat this shit, you know, because, you know, he's still alive, so, you know, that's a good sign. So he still got some type of leverage somewhere. And listen, for the people who are in the know, this goes deep. This goes so deep. And I really, personal opinion, believe that that might be one of the things he has to an advantage that will get him off, because with this going as deep as it's going and as far up the ranks as it's going, last thing you want to do is put somebody that has this type of information, know-how, and leverage on everybody. Put them away for life. Unless you plan on, you know, Epstein in them or something like that. But yeah, last thing you want to do is better to have him in close range so you can have him under control and he can't talk and they can get that footage that they really trying to get their hands on, that footage that hasn't been found yet. So yeah, you know, I'll say that. Like I said, I didn't want to be long, but I ended up being long-winded on this. And I gotta get out of here because I'm being spotted now everywhere. Fucking, you know, I hate that shit. Every time I be thinking I'm low-key, right? But, yeah, you know, and I'm going to leave y'all with this, lastly. I'm going to leave y'all with this because to me, and this is something I want to do a separate video on, but to me, you notice one of the things that everybody is overlooking and not talking about nor asking the question of, and it was on my mind all day today, and nobody's asking this question or talking about this. Where are the white people? We'll let that sit for a second and sink in. Where the fuck are the white people? Because if you notice, they had just dropped a list last week of about 8 or 10 Hollywood celebrities, actors and shit. I think with the exception like Mike Myers is on that list. But if you notice, out of all of these people they talking about and all of these A-listers that they're naming that they're talking about they're going to subpoena and bring in, you notice that you ain't seen none of the white ones. Where, Ashton Kutcher, where the fuck are you at? Mike Myers, where are you at? Every last A-lister celebrity of the certain persuasion, you have not seen them mention. You have not seen TMZ ask no questions and say, hey, where are these guys at? You notice everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet. And see, before you try to challenge this, I got a damning video that I found that is... It was so good that I had to pull that shit before they deleted it and save it because I knew they were going to delete this. And it's a who's who of all of the high-list, A-list white celebrities looking dead in the camera and telling not only when they were at the parties, but when. Jeter, Britney, Ashton. When I'm going over this shit, I'm looking at it like, oh, why aren't they talking? Where is this going? But I put it aside because I had a strong feeling that they're gonna scrub that video, so I grabbed it and made sure that I could keep